The Dailies, your early morning companion.
Every Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m.
on Melody 107.7 FM.
Headlines that shape the nation.
To Nigeria's biggest stories of the day. From the Dailies, news that talks to you. Only on Melody 107.7 FM, Lagos.
From the Dailies on your favorite radio station. Melody 107.7 FM. Stay tuned.
It's another bright and early morning out here at the City of Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Lagos. Welcome to From the Dailies, right here on Melody 107.7 FM. This is your super darling station, where we mention every time we get to keep you informed, educated, and entertained all day long. Thanks for joining us on this morning's edition of our English newspaper review and program. We call it From the Dailies. I am Roland Imoyera. Don't forget, this is where we get to look into the stories that made it not just to the cover pages of the paper, but as well serve you the details of the juicy stories and from the pages of the papers for the day. All right, I won't be doing it alone this morning. As always, I've got with me the gentleman of the press is always looking at me and smiling this morning. Thanks, Marty, for joining us.
Flatter me again, Roland. You always call me gentleman. Am I really a gentleman? well. As Roland already said, welcome to today's edition of From the Dailies this Wednesday, the 29th day of July 2026. As I always say, tick says the clock, tick. What you have to do quick. This month is already running to an end, and you've spent already 7 months this year. What have you done? What are the things you set your mind to do? Time and tide waits for no man. Please just do what you have to do. I am Matthew Oluwasegun Ijabiken, also known as MY. Let me remind you that we are live on the Facebook at Melody 107.7 FM. And from my end, I have The Nation as well as Vanguard newspapers.
And I'll be taking you through stories from the pages of The Punch as well as the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for this morning. And also let you know that this is an interactive program. At the right time, the studio lines will be opened again for you to call in to share your thoughts and opinions on any of the stories that will resonate with you in the course of the program for today. I'm sure you have so many juicy stories we are bringing to you this morning from the pages of the papers. Matthew, I think you're ready to shoot.
All right. From the Nation newspaper, the front page, the big bold one, xenophobia. Federal government demands justice from South Africa. And it has this rider, Endikonlaye briefs the president on meeting with Ramaphosa's special envoy. You can find details of this on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. And above the masthead, 18 killed in Benue, Taraba communities. And you can find that also on page 51 of the Nation newspaper this morning. ADC hails appeal court's verdicts voiding order to deregister parties. Okay, that's on page 8 for details. INEC neutral, fair to all parties, says Tinubu. You can find details of this also on page 9 of the Nation newspaper. E-payment penetration drops cash outside banks to 4.9 trillion naira. All of this and more on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, Matthew, I think we should start with this one from the president that says INEC is neutral and fair to all parties. You know, I don't think the president should be in the best position to say this because he's actually a part of those that are contesting for elected position that's been organized by the Independent National Electoral Commission.
And don't you even think that statement can be, carries an undertone of more?
Even though it doesn't carry that undertone, people outside will perceive it to carry that undertone because yes, you're supposed to be supposed to be a neutral body. Even himself, in
this sense, should be neutral.
But now being the president and seeking re-election, I don't think is someone that should be in the best position to say INEC is free and neutral. You know, well, we all know that no election in this world is truly free and neutral. One way or the other, we tend to have this. We are all humans, you know. One way or the other.
In recent times, the nullified election in 1993 was even adjudged by even international observers that it was free and fair.
But it's a very known fact that all over the world, no election is 100% truly free and fair. So for the president to come out to start telling us that INEC is neutral and fair to all parties, well, to me, from my own perspective, being somebody that is also participating in this particular process right now, I don't think for him to come out to say,
of time. 2027 2027 will determine whether INEC has been free and fair.
It can be neutral, free and fair to him, to his party, because they are the ones in control. One way or the other, the opposition will perceive it to look like, okay, since you guys are the ones in control, and looking from the body language and everything has been transparent over time in the build up to this election, they are going to tell you that no, you know, we've also argued this on this particular program several times, that INEC is not truly free from the influence from the ruling of powers that be at the top. Yes, just some days ago, the INEC chairman as well came out to say INEC cannot be truly independent if it doesn't have financial autonomy. You know, this is part of the things that we are looking at in the process of the build up to the election, in trying to position the country and make sure that our electoral system is far better and stronger, you know, as it delivers credible, free and fair election to the public, to make Nigerians really look at these people and say, okay, these guys are, they are credible, they are delivering the best, you know, to the people, and whatever results that is being churned out at the end of the day, people will come out and say, okay, this is truly the will of the people.
Now, coming back to what you said, sorry, the reference you made about the INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amokweton, saying that INEC cannot really be independent if it doesn't have financial autonomy. INEC itself cannot generate its own finances.
That's it.
It will still come from the coffers of the federal government.
That is it.
Do you get it now? So can it really be financially autonomous?
Aside from even the financial autonomy, what about the appointment of principal officers in the commission, just like the chairman of the commission itself? This is someone that is being appointed by the sitting president. Josh Amupito was nominated by the president. In fact, appointed because he went through screening at the house and everything. But who nominated him in the first place? It's the president. So you can't walk.
So it's only natural that it should be loyal to the power.
Like they say, he that pays the piper dictates you. Yes, so that body, a lot to be looked into in our electoral system, especially this body that's conducting this election for the entire country. These are some of the key things that we need to look at if we want to make this process credible. Another one I want us to really talk on before moving on to another newspaper for this morning is the xenophobia. Federal government demands justice from South Africa. It's about time. It's about time. We spoke yesterday on how we were not here yesterday. I discussed how the president snubbed the delegation of the South African sent by the South African president. Now, you know, this is a way forward. You know, he actually, you know, pushed him over to the what is it called now? The Minister of States for Foreign Affairs now to attend to this delegation. This is a step in the right direction. It's a way forward, and it goes a long way to tell you that Nigerians are demanding stronger action, more decisive action. Recently, another Nigerian was killed in the same South Africa. Another is actually currently undergoing treatment for a gunshot wound to his mouth by the same police in this particular country. This is something, and I think it is high time we, you know, put our foot down.
Yes, and demand justice.
And demand justice, not just justice now. Take concrete action back home here to let these people know that no, you will also have your interest in this particular country. No country can function in isolation.
Yes. I'm not saying that we should brutalize the South Africans that are doing business.
No.
But then we should
brutality.
give them more stringent and stricter modalities and regulations to operate their business.
They also have real good big business in Nigeria. Doing well. We have a very good climate and a condition for them to operate and then take our money back to their country. All right, let me quickly move on to the Punch newspaper. For this morning, we have the story now. Appeal Court restores ADC Atiku Mark Adeleke celebrates. I think they will have a side of relief in that particular one. But I bet you that's not the end, because this particular case is going to end with the Supreme Court. Those people that pushed for the dissolution and the registration of that party in the first instance will want to fight it all through to the Supreme Court. Yes. So I'm so certain that, let me just say I'm certain. We'll just keep our fingers crossed to see what comes out of it at the end of the day. The build up to the election is closed, and I think these things need to be cleared so that this particular party can have enough time to really focus. Yes, and concentrate on its election campaigns and other related issues within that party. All right, moving on to other stories from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Police silent as reps ultimatum on fake agency DG expires today. This is another drama. They gave them, I think 2 days ago, they gave the police a marching order to present the fake agency DG now before the House of Representatives to come and explain some specific areas. But let's hope today it will be
it pans out well.
Yes. Let's hope the police will be able to bring him to the floor of the Senate, the House of Representatives, to come and give his own account and answer some questions that are burning on the hearts of these lawmakers. Another story on the front page of the Punch for this morning. EFCC faces credibility questions over asset auctions. That's on page 9 of the paper. 2027. Tinubu challenges rivals. Vows fight to finish. The president has been known to be someone that is very bold and vocal. He doesn't shy away from expressing his mind, especially when it comes to things like this. Remember the build up to the 2023 election now when in Ogun State.
Should this really be a draw there? I mean, why is that statement coming that vows to fight to finish?
Well, he's contesting. He's telling you, I am ready to rest power. I'm ready to die for my mandate now. Let me not use the word die. I'm ready to defend my mandate and come ensure that I get the secretary. Remember in the first step, that was when he came out to say, that statement really changed the landscape. It changed a child life. As soon as he made that pronouncement in Abeokuta, then it just changed the landscape of the whole political climate at that particular time.
But then there has been inflation since that time. It has not been easy surviving this Emilio regime. So if he's coming back again, what promises is he giving us?
Oh, the way you are saying.
Will there be reduction in the? Would there be an improved standard of living for Nigerians? Will we be able to afford 3 square meal as we used to do before? Will we have a better economy? In the second stanza. So these are the things we should look into.
Don't forget the presidency, and as well as people that are working for him have been coming out to say the reforms by this administration are beginning to yield positive results.
Let those reforms reflect in the price of rice.
Look,
let it reflect in the price of beans.
Matthew,
in the price of
these
garri.
are critical but necessary decisions. These are painful but necessary decisions. That's what the president has been saying. Painful but necessary.
Okay. Now I agree with you.
Yes.
Now, for how long? This is almost 4 years of the first stanza, and we still cannot feel.
But to be fair with this administration, these are things that they inherited. This is not an issue that was entirely created. Inherited. This is not an issue that was entirely created by this present administration. Matthew.
I agree.
So it takes time.
But its agenda was
administration. Matthew.
I agree.
It takes time.
But its agenda was a renewed hope agenda. So
I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here, Matthew. But let's move on to other stories from the front page of the Punch newspaper for this morning. Federal government overshoots borrowing limit as new debt reaches 12.62 trillion naira. It has the rider government misses revenue target by 4.9 trillion naira despite higher non-oil earnings. And budget deficit balloons by 47% above projection. Fresh loans bankrolled 36% of 2024 spending. And budget office reports. These are very concerning reports we are getting from the federal government overshooting borrowing limits now as new debt reaches 12.62 trillion naira. Yes. And let me move on to other stories now. Tinubu orders security chiefs to fish out Kaduna killers. That's on page 17 of the paper. This is something we discussed yesterday, the renewed killing in southern Kaduna, where over 30 people were massacred and a lot of people were still have been displaced again. The renewed conflict in that particular region. This is something that has been occurring like virtually everywhere. For a while now, the killings in that particular region abated a bit. But I don't know what's happening, but in the build-up to this election, we are beginning to see the renewed killing in that particular region, southern Kaduna most especially. And now it's a good thing that the president has ordered security chiefs to fish out these killers. Several times we've heard orders like this, relocate, fish out, but we are not really seeing it translate into meaningful result at the end of the day. Most of these people, they embark on these killings with, I mean, unchecked, without anything, without any arrest being made at the end of the day in most of these cases. So let's just hope that this one we're going to see.
You mentioned that this is happening again, as we approach 2027 election. Okay. So, I'm just assuming.
Yes.
Let's even say that it has a political undertone. Should innocent people be the one to suffer for it? Do you get?
Yes.
So, I mean, if it is happening between, if it's a part or soul thing, but innocent people should not be the victims of this.
Don't forget that some people thrive, their businesses thrive in chaos. So they really don't want peace, and then we'll do one thing or the other to ensure that, and we'll also have this case for their personal interest.
Vulnerable
Let's not
people.
forget that. And those kind of people, I feel these are the people that the government should even really need to look into. They need to look at the sponsors behind all this whatnot, because I don't think this killings and insecurity issues are in isolation. Somebody somewhere has one or two vested interests, and they are behind the scene pushing for it. Whereas they say they know the sponsors behind the terrorists in the country, they know one or two, they're going to name and shame, but how many have really been named and shamed? How many have really seen, being made to face prosecution for their actions? Yes. This is a really critical time. It's a very critical time in our country. We really need to take the fight against this insecurity seriously, yes, and prosecute those. We have to go behind the sponsors of these attacks. By the time you cut off the head of the snake, I don't think the body will, it's dangerous again. Yes, let me move on to other stories now from the front page of the Punch newspaper. State police, governors must control CPs, Southern Middle Belt and leaders insist. Yes, governors must control commissioner of police. Well, I think the National Assembly, is still fine-tuning and ensuring that they deliver the best, to Nigerians when they finally roll out this state police across the country. Now,
if you are saying that governors must control the commissioners of police, is that not also another way of manipulating them, or should I say, making them compromise on certain standards? Now, some people even came up with some argument that we don't really need state police, and that what we need should be regional policing. Now, what I mean by regional policing was that there was a time when Southwest governors came together and said we are doing Amboseko. So let us have it like that, so that it will now be controlled regionally. So it's not as if there's one particular governor that is controlling. In one way,
if I get you right, you're trying to like this will reduce the influence of a particular governor. But one of the things that the grey areas has been fine-tuned is to reduce the influence of these governors over this particular outfit when it eventually starts when it's been rolled out to the country. Yes, at the end of the day. So I just feel from all we are seeing, the powers of the governors to control will be curbed one way or the other, because. How? It's in the law. That's what they are looking at. That's why they've not rolled this thing out even at the moment. They are still looking at all these areas to curtail the powers of the governors over this particular outfit. Remember, the federal government.
Where will their salaries be coming from?
That's some of the things I'm.
Where will their salaries be coming from?
The state government.
And you just mentioned earlier on that he who pays the piper. Yeah, exactly.
So one way or the other, we cannot rule out the influence of these governors over this outfit, because the governors themselves are the security chiefs of the state, of the state. All right, now let's just see how that one also pans out at the end of the day. It's a good one. We all clamor for the state policing, anything that they can do to reduce this rate of insecurity, kidnapping, banditries, and killing, and all. I think it's something that is should be welcomed going forward. All right, to this sad one from the Punch newspaper: collapsed building, 3 dead, 12 rescued as Ogun begins probe. You can get that on page 4 and 5 of the paper. And lastly, Makinde unveils 2 new surveillance aircraft to combat insecurity. That's on page 17 of the paper, which is another good one coming from Oyo State. I think it will help to really fight and surveil in the fight of against security in that particular state. So, all right, those are the stories you can get this morning from the front page of the Punch newspaper.
All right, now on the Vanguard newspaper, the front page, the registration of ADC. Others was judicial rascality, and that's created to appeal court. It has a few kickers. Slams Justice Lee Fool's action. A verdict corrected grave miscarriage of justice. And that's created to ADC as well. 2027 polls must be won at ballots, not in court. And that's created to article. A plot to stop Adeleke thwarted. And that's created to governor's camp. You can find it of this on page 5. And moving on, above the masthead, Nigeria risk losing Africa's tech investment edge. LCCI warns. That is what's it called? Lagos Commerce. Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Yes.
Okay, warns. Then we have a banned sachet alcohol. NAFDAC uncovers Eden factories, fresh production. And that's on page 7 for details. Nigeria at war. Tinubu has no strategy to end it, and that's created to Olawepo Hassan. Nigeria loses 47% of dollar millionaires, retain 4th position in Africa, and that's on page 20 for details. Gunmen kill army colonel in Abuja, shoots wife. With a few kickers, mob kills Unijust graduate over alleged phone theft. And fresh Benway attacks leave 16 dead, many injured. That's on page 6 for details. Okay, Oyo receives 2 surveillance aircraft to boost security. That's on page 410. Tinubu orders man-hunt for Kaduna killers. And then Nigeria demands justice compensation after Afrophobic attacks. Credited to federal government. That's on page 37. All of this on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
And on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, because of our time, let me quickly rush through it. Obi's one-time pact will shock change on Debo. That is coming from Presidency. It is on page 22 of that paper. 28 days after duty slash prices of imported vehicles remain high. Investigation. Dealers have to sell out old stock. That is credited to the importers. It's on page 5 of that paper. Moving on to other stories now. Appeal Court nullifies order the registered ADC accord 3 other political parties. That's on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune for today. Southern Middle Belt leaders insist on South retaining presidency. Backstate police demand a new constitution through federalism. That's on page 2 of the paper for this morning. It's the big bold one on the page of the Nigerian Tribune. Moving on to other stories now. Repeated currency devaluation deepen poverty. Ex-World Bank chief. You can read up that on page 4 of the paper. We are stabilizing Nigeria. Tinubu tells Catholic bishop. It's on page 13 of the same paper. Again, suspected armed herders kill 15 in Benue. Oyo government receives 2 security surveillance aircraft. It has the rider aircraft to become operational immediately through Air Force partnership. Makinde says acquisition predates Orire abduction, vows improved intelligence gathering across states and vast land mass. We only sat 4 times in 7 months, Ondo Assembly members revealed. Wow. And they are being paid for sitting for that 4 times.
Imagine.
In 7 months, you only sat 4 times. 4 times. So how credible is the assembly? What have you been legislating on? How is governance even going on in that particular state? What is your responsibility of check and balance, Matthew? These are things that we need to look at. These are our lawmakers going there to just sit. How can you come and say you sit just 4 times in 7 months?
And you're collecting money.
And you're collecting money. You're collecting huge salary. As an allocation, has been allocated to your constituency. What are you guys doing? 4 times in 7 months, Matthew. The lackadaisical attitude of our political office holders really need to change, and I think a lot needs to be done in this context. Imagine the other day, was it in Jigawa State when the governor went into the state secretariat? As at 11 o'clock on a Monday morning, you find the offices were scanty, commissioners were not on seats, staff of the ministries, departments and agencies were not on seats. The governor was visibly angry. These are things that we witness across most government parastatals in the country, Matthew.
Well, for some people, they say Nigeria is a scam. I don't know whether that is true. But then, I will not say that.
But how can meaningful development take place in this kind of environment? APC chairman inaugurates 292-member campaign council for Osun polls. Those are the stories you can get from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for today.
All right. Well, that's as much we can take on today's edition of From the Dailies. From the Dailies comes your way Mondays through Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. In case you miss any part of today's show, you can go back to our Facebook page at Melody 107.7 FM. Well, thanks to everybody who made this a success. From the engineering section, we have engineer Matthew Forishe. From the production end, I have to look at Bello. And my friends in the studio, I have Treasure Wadimbola. I have Sunday Oluwashim. I have